The former president of Germany, Horst Kohler, says the days that Africans used to be lectured by others about how to manage her resources are over. He said Africa is now well positioned to lead the way through good governance, that is, having strong and fair legal systems, effective institutions, anti-corruption policies, free media and active civil society. President Horst Kohler was giving a lecture at the University of Ghana in honor of former President John Jerry Kufuor's Foundation in Accra. Former Presidents John Rawlings and Thabo Mbeki of South Africa graced the occasion.
Africa is referred to as the cradle of civilization. The last 3 centuries saw the continent which is endowed with a lot of natural resources than any other continent struggling to put food on the tables of her children. The situation can be attributed to external and internal forces. Though the Western world has been blamed for its role in impoverishing the continent, there is also evidence to show that bad leadership can be blamed for the poor showing of Africa when it comes to the breaking of the back of poverty. And in finding antidote to these myriad of problems, Africa has since the 1960s been caught in a web of either going the way of the East or the West, that is socialism or capitalism. History has shown that neither socialism nor capitalism have the ultimate solution, but a combination of both. Germany started to be one of the few countries in the world which has successfully adopted this principle known as social market economy. The success of Germany is attributed to effective leadership, and this explains why former President John Jerry Kufuor, after winning the World Food Programme Hunger Award, decided to dedicate the funds from the award to set up a foundation for leadership. A foundation which is premised on 3 pillars: leadership, good governance and development, will have a center of excellence for leadership at the University of Ghana, Legon, while a library will be built at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology at Kumasi. Former President Kufuor said the Center for Leadership will not be a place for awarding diplomas or degrees, but a place for critical thinking on how to move Africa forward.
I pray that the center becomes a breeding ground for good leadership, to anchor good governance that will deliver the development that our nation and our continent so much deserve. May the flame that we lit today be constantly fueled to transform our continent to take its proper place in the world.
The former president of Germany, Mr. Horst Kohler, who until 2004 was also the managing director of the IMF, gave a lecture on leadership in Accra. The topic was walking the tightrope, balancing state and society. Mr. Kohler, upon reflection 7 years after leaving the IMF, criticized the Washington Consensus, which is anchored on hasty liberalization and privatization of the economy. He said in Germany, 80% of jobs created were done by small and medium-scale enterprises with assistance from the state. The German statesman said both the state and the private sector have a role to play, but there should be a balance, and Africa should design a system that will suit her.
In my view, Ghana has all credentials for a good future, but there's a need for hard work. But believe in yourself, you will make it. Dear John, I'm glad that you will continue to work on this kind of strategic questions through your new foundation. You will have a close look at the ideas of a social market economy as well as other, and in particular African ideas for development.
The 21st century has been described as a century for Africa, in that the continent has shown signs of resilience even in the midst of financial turbulence. This is buttressed by a report issued by the Africa Progress Panel a couple of months ago, chaired by the former UN Secretary General, Mr. Kofi Annan. The report said Africa is unquestionably the continent of hope for the world, and Ghana is expected to be among the world's 10 fastest growing economies in the next decade. Edward Nyakon, GTV News, Legon.